All right, y'all. So I had a listener want another take of mine on another fighter named Lisa Kyriacou. Lisa Kyriacou, she's a young flyweight who's been fighting on the regional circuit for a number of years now. I want to say maybe about like 5 or 6 years. She's been pretty active. She's won a couple of regional belts. She's won the Hexagon belt, and recently she's won the Beatdown Promotions belt. She won that belt, I want to say at the beginning of November against Fame Mosquito. And in that fight, she did show some good improvements as far as, her stand-up game and just her overall top control and ground game. So my take on Lisa Kyriacou, I know she's 32 years old, but I still need to see a little bit more development and growth from her before she jumps over to the UFC. But if you want to know my honest opinion, I think she's a little bit further than Laloba is as far as getting to the Contender Series. Like, if she wants to fight on the Contender Series, I think that's very possible for her because, just looking back at some of her fights, I've seen her kickboxing look a little bit more fluid. Like I said, she's a lot more active than Laloba is. She's done a little bit more as far as just, staying out there and, improving as a fighter. Her last 3 fights, of course, she's 1-2. She won the Hexagon belt, and then she lost it to Cynthia Calvillo. Cynthia Calvillo, I know she's a former UFC fighter. And, like I said, I kind of gauged that as a fight where it's like, all right, if you can't beat a Cynthia Calvillo, I need to see a little bit more from you. So, oh yeah, and she did fight for Road to UFC last year in China. She did appear on that card, and that's where she lost 2 in a row. She lost that fight first, real close split decision loss. You have to go back and watch that fight. And then she lost to Cynthia Calvillo. She lost that Hexagon belt to Cynthia Calvillo, and just recently she beat Mosquito for the Beatdown belt. She broke that losing streak. She's back in, against Fame Mosquito. She beat her. So my overall take on Lisa Kyriacou, I need to see her fight once again at LFA. I need to see that gauge, at LFA, Invicta, or even like PFL. Any of those organizations, I need to see her kind of go over there, snatch up some more wins against some, solid prospects on the outside of the UFC and just kind of build from there.